First, we researched Quora, which is an online question and answer forum. So Quora's history began in June of 2009 when Adam D'Angelo and Charlie Cheever, who were former Facebook employees, created this website. And it took about a year to create. So in June of 2010, Quora's website finally launched, and there were a bunch of different questions and answers with a variety of details where users could gain more information on relevant topics to what questions they were asking. But they quickly realized that they were getting more users than they had originally anticipated. So they needed to create a better way to continue to have an increase in engagement, but have a positive user experience. So with this unprecedented growth in the course of about 6 months, Charlie Cheever ended up stepping down, and D'Angelo led the company through this process of growth, where in 2013, they created a blogging platform to post content, but they weren't expecting responses. It was just a way for people to share their ideas and thoughts and research, and it wasn't necessarily an opportunity where they expected questions and needed answers in return. Then in May of the same year, they offered a mobile device access through an app. And this was really great because it allowed people to navigate the question and answer forum from the tips of their fingers, where they didn't have to log onto their computer, but they can do it from anywhere on their phone. And then in 2015, there was an 800 character limit with questions offered to provide context. So this growth allowed people to dive deeper into what they were trying to explain, what they wanted to, provide in their questions, and to get more relevant answers back. And then in 2017, URL links became available, and that was for if there was a YouTube video that was relevant or a news article that people wanted to connect to their question, they could provide that context and those descriptions with relevant evidence or information or data, so that users could provide answers or some sort of response with the relevant information they needed that maybe 800 characters would not be able to provide. And then over the course of 2016 to 2018, they really developed the amount of languages to promote worldwide communication. And more recently, they have languages such as Arabic, Danish, Dutch, English, Finnish, French, German, Hebrew, Hindi, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Bengali, Norwegian, Polish, Portuguese, Spanish, Swedish, and Tamil. But in 2018 of December, they reached 100 million accounts, which were unfortunately hacked by a data breach. So this kind of set them back because they had to figure out, okay, how are we going to create secure accounts that our users are going to trust, that we have a safe platform where their information is not being used in a harmful way, and that the data that is being shared and the questions and answers and users who are accessing this forum are using it appropriately, and the information is appropriate, relevant, safe, and helpful. And then more recently in 2021, anonymous posting features became available, and this increased engagement because people didn't feel this pressure of posting when their name was attached to it. So they felt more comfortable posting something and not being known for what information they maybe want to receive. So in terms of Quora's features, their main focus is the question and answer forum where people can post questions, whether they want to include their name or anonymously, and get public access to answers. So you're getting a worldwide availability of people able to answer your questions and provide their feedback or opinions and responses. There's also the blog feature, which keeps user updated on current events or things going on in their specific community, share ideas, and pose an opinion on a topic without adding conversation. So there's less pressure on having conversations with these posts, but more like people just being able to spread that information. And there's featured ads where businesses can pay to post their ads on Quora to increase their visibility and brand awareness. So when users go to click on a link that leads them to Quora or open up the Quora app, they're often greeted by a variety of businesses' ads so that they're being aware of, oh, this is Google's ad, this is a local community ad. They're being exposed to more brands and businesses who want to increase their awareness of and grow their amount of users and customers. One of the key features in Quora is the Spaces feature, which is a page for groups interested in topic-specific content designed to suit their users' interests. So that can be nutritional recipes, sales growth advice, fashion trends, really anything. There is a group specific to each user, and these spaces help people find almost a sense of online community where they can just find information and conversations that are relevant to information or topics that they're interested in. And that's really helpful when it comes to blogs because you're able to get relevant information on topics that interest you. The homepage has a variety of topics of high engagement content and popular topics of interest. So the things you'll see on the homepage are sometimes advertised stuff, but also like common questions or blogs that people have tapped on recently and are very popular across users everywhere. But it's really like something that the Quora marketing team believes that, most users are probably going to find this interesting. So we're going to highlight it as soon as they click on our website or app. Now their campaigns are a little different because they don't market in a very traditional sense. Their focus is more on their search engine optimization, also known as SEO, and basically they use keywords to attract new users from Google or Safari searches. So when you look a question up in Google, oftentimes you're going to get a link that will send you to a bunch of different Quora pages that have different questions and answers, and that is their main focus on. Everyone uses Google or Safari or some sort of search engine website. And so when they look a question up, Quora wants to make sure that their website is the links that people are going to, and it brings in new users because people may be familiar with Google, but now that they see there's a plethora of questions, answers, and information, they will be more interested in using Quora and be more aware of, I'm interested in this question. Quora is the place that I should go. The second campaign that they focus on is industry-related questions. So companies can respond on Quora to build Quora's information as credible. So if someone asks a question about a popular Apple product and Apple goes onto Quora and responds to this user and provides information and facts and any sort of data or evidence, it really builds Quora's relevant and engaging content, knowing that, and credibility, knowing that the content and responses and information being provided is valid and factual, and there are credible, well-known companies using Quora to engage with their customers who are either current or potential customers, and are able to provide that credible information. And then the third campaign is quality content. So that kind of goes into the second one. But basically, Quora can monitor everything that's being posted to make sure it is safe, appropriate, helpful, and intellectual. And so by providing factual information, they're building trusting relationships from Quora and their users. So Quora's users can trust that Quora's information is going to be correct, and it's going to be a safe community where people can feel that they can post their questions or opinions or thoughts and not be like harassed for them. In terms of the demographics, the focus is mainly on students, young adults, journalists, and industry leaders. They offer conversations on academic questions such as like, what's the best college to go to, and what should I major in, and if I'm interested in this, what should I do with it, and stuff that are relevant conversations that people have, that has an online space where people from all over the world can communicate and add their opinions in, as well as trending topics for a younger audience. So maybe that's something that young influencers on social media are doing, and people want to understand what it's all about, or the latest news. Maybe that's political or a current event or a natural disaster, and being able to provide information or any sort of opinion and feedback. And maybe there's even conspiracy theories out there where people are able to debate and just create a sense of community and connection through these conversations online, as well as the important information regarding a variety of topics. So literally, you name it, there's a topic and a space that offers that information for you. And so that can be from education to like careers, to nutrition, to fitness, to literally anything. They have a variety of topics to meet everyone's needs, and because of that, it's a very inclusive environment. In terms of their users, 57% are male and 43% are female. And then 31.13 are aged between 25 and 34 years old, and that is the most popular age group. So they're primarily looking at younger adults who are very comfortable with using online platforms and know how to navigate these websites and apps. And for the most part, their demographics are pretty balanced. However, there is a bit more of a male presence. Regarding Quora's marketing metrics, their views allow users and their marketing team to evaluate the total number of users answering or reading posts. So there's a feature where you can see how many likes, how many comments, and just see the engagement in terms of like what posts are doing really well and what aren't really relevant and what most users are engaging with. The upvotes is a feature that positively rates posts to increase value and relevance to reach a larger audience. So maybe there's like a question or a blog that's in a specific space. Then with this upvote, more users can like promote it to encourage it to be seen by people outside of the space and maybe be featured on that homepage to reach a larger demographic and for more people to maybe engage in that space that they may not if they haven't seen this post. And then the URL feature to add links is relevant information from other sites. So it's a nice way for companies to like kind of market their products or users to provide more necessary information for other users to understand like what the context is for their question or opinion. In terms of the risks and fails by Quora, there is a issue in regards to the monitoring of violent or inappropriate comments and posts. So there's cyberbullying concerns because it's hard for Quora with millions of users, because they have over 100 million users, to understand how to balance and ensure that there are no harmful messages in any of the questions, responses, blogs, any of it. Also, many ads block content. That's why for the first few years, Quora did not offer any ads because they believed it impacted the user experience, and they wanted to continue to encourage users to use Quora and not be turned away because there were so many ads in the way. That became very annoying. Their layout features very small print of basically everything, whether that's the headings for the different topics or the questions and answers. There's just not a very clear line of what you should be looking at and where the focus is. There's many topics, links, icons, ads. It's just a very busy design, and it can be overwhelming and not appealing if you really don't want to read into every little bit. The mobile app struggles to display the full topic and posts, which can be frustrating because you're not reading every bit of that information, and so you're not really able to engage if you're missing pieces of the puzzle. An example of this in their campaign is the lack of factual information. So while Quora does a good job of providing different companies to respond to their products or questions from users, and they really do try to make sure that the information is valid and factual, people can copy and paste responses, whether that be from Wikipedia or something they saw from a sketchy website online. There's trolling, and there's biased or opinionated posts that disregard evidence and data, which can be risky because people may not understand that it is biased, and so then they're getting a wrong perception of what is accurate and factual information. All in all, Quora is not the most popular platform. However, it is a great resource to provide any sort of question and answer to a variety of topics with a lot of feedback from many different users across the world. The cluster of words is unmotivating to read. It's not very clear where the visual hierarchy lies. And companies targeted to Quora's prime demographic should consider posting questions and responses to understand what their audience wants. So this is a great opportunity if a new business is potentially launching a product or service, and they want to make sure they're clear on their target audience and what that target audience really is looking for before officially launching their company, to make sure that they're getting the highest success rate back. And it helps build brand awareness as well, because by building those customer relationships, people are more familiar with the brand, and they'll be on the lookout for when that brand launches. And as well as when you build those relationships, you're building that credibility. So that could be like a new clothing brand, an online app, or a new author publishing a book. By making people aware of the newest products and their brand name, people are more interested and willing to look into and research and purchase from these newer businesses and individuals offering products and services. However, established companies do not need Quora as their main form of advertising, such as Lululemon, Apple, and Amazon, because they are so well known. They have great word of mouth advertising. They use other social media platforms, and their logo is very distinguished in terms of like what society can recognize, so people know what the Apple logo looks like, and they don't need to really research it in terms of figuring that out. And it's displayed in classrooms, in workplaces, in malls. They have stores, so it's like something that Quora is very like great for niche companies that are new and building, but established companies that are very well known probably don't need to rely on Quora as heavily to build their customer base. So overall, Quora is a great question and answer website to build an online community, get more information, and spread word of mouth in an online sense. However, established companies are more prepared to use other forms of marketing online to spread their brand awareness.
Hi, my name's Alyssa, and our second social media publishing platform is WordPress. Starting with the history of WordPress, it all began in 2003 when it was created by Matt Mullenweg and Mike Little as a free blogging tool. In 2004, WordPress added plugins so users could easily add new features. Then in 2005 to 2007, version 1.5 was created, which added themes and an easy-to-use dashboard. WordPress.com was also launched to let people create sites without actually installing WordPress. In 2008 to 2009, version 2.5 redesigned the dashboard, and in version 2.7, it became much easier with the use of auto updates. From 2010 to 2011, version 3.0 added multi-site support, which allowed you to run many sites. Version 3.2 introduced a new default theme and improved the speed. From 2013 to 2015, version 3.6 added better post management, while version 4.3 added site icons and new customizers. Then, in 2018, launched the Gutenberg editor, which allowed users to create content in blocks instead of typing in plain text, which made it much more appealing. From 2020 to 2023, version 5.5 added auto updates for plugins, and version 6.2 improved the site editing speed and quality. Moving on to features, the number one feature is that there is a free version, which makes it accessible for everyone. It's customizable and extremely flexible, so you can create your perfect website exactly how you want it to be. It's easy to use, and you do not need any coding skills to develop your own website. Thousands of free and premium themes. It's fast to edit or change when you need to update your website. There's also over 50,000 plugins available. The block editor also makes it easy to arrange your website. There's a huge community of developers within and around WordPress. It has a multi-site capability, so you can run as many sites as you'd want. It's mobile friendly, which means your website will look professional on a desktop or a cell phone. And it also has regular updates and advancements, keeping you up to date. The demographics of WordPress consist of small business owners, bloggers, developers and designers, e-commerce entrepreneurs, nonprofits and educational institutions, content creators, and influencers. Now, why do these organizations choose to use WordPress? It's because it allows individuals and businesses to create a professional and customizable website without requiring extensive technical knowledge. Moving on to marketing metrics, there are two major ones for WordPress. First up is website traffic. Analytics tools like Google Analytics can track the number of visitors, page views, bounce rate, and average time duration on your website, which can be extremely useful. And then the second one is conversion rates. WordPress has its own plugins like Gravity Forms or WooCommerce that track actions like filling out a contract form, signing up for a newsletter, or making a purchase, and those are all included in WordPress itself. Here we have 3 successful campaigns done through WordPress. First up from the White House, we have Obama's campaign website. This showcased WordPress's ability to handle massive traffic and interactive features. It successfully raised over $600 million in small donations through the website. Second, from the Walt Disney Company, we have the Disney Park blog. This blog provided fans with direct access to the Disney Park updates, news, and events. It boosted traffic and generated excitement for new attractions while fostering a strong community of engaged Disney fans. And lastly, we have the Mercedes-Benz social media campaign. This campaign increased engagement with younger audiences. The Mercedes-Benz company used WordPress to create a website where users could share stories and connect directly with the brand. Moving on to an epic fail, we have the Walmart Cyber Monday sale of 2012. Walmart did not prepare their WordPress site properly to support the large number of visitors during the Cyber Monday sale. Due to the extreme traffic during the sale, the site frequently crashed. WordPress's themes and plugins weren't optimized to handle the high traffic spikes, leading to a poor overall experience and loss of sales on Walmart's end. What can we learn from this? We can learn that proper hosting, caching, and scalability measures are crucial when handling high traffic. Now, like we saw, when WordPress is used correctly, it is able to handle the high traffic. However, for this campaign, Walmart failed to do so. To conclude, I would recommend these types of companies to use WordPress.
I am Leah, and I am going to be talking about Tumblr. So, 18 years ago, the year 2007, Tumblr was launched. It is founded by David Karp and Marco Arment. They were software consultants, and they were waiting at the time for a Tumblr blog to be released to the public to use on the internet. Tumblr blogs are basically like short form blogs, and that's ultimately where Tumblr got its name from, duh. But yeah, that's ultimately where they got their name from. So like, they waited for a bit, like I think maybe 1 or 2 years, and once like no one was making a Tumblr blog, they're like, okay, let's just do it ourselves. So yeah, they came together and they made Tumblr, and within like 2 weeks, the platform had gained like 75,000 users, and 2011 was its peak time, and most of the users were like 25 and under. So Tumblr has a lot of features, but the main feature obviously is like the short form blogs. You have like a stream or a feed, kind of like I guess Twitter, Instagram, your usual social media site. Um, they had they have an anonymous like Q&A like question thing. That was back in like 2010 and 2015, but they ultimately got rid of it and replaced it for instant messaging instead. But the Q&A was really popular for like people to send like, I guess, their favorite bloggers, like, I don't know, Q&As or whatever. And I knew that was like kind of a big thing with Tumblr. If you go on Pinterest, for example, and look up older Tumblr posts, you'll see this Q&A being used for like either jokes or advice and other things like that. But yeah, the Q&A feature was super popular. Not sure why they replaced it for the instant messaging feature. I want to assume it's to be more like having a DM like, you know, other big social media sites. But yeah, it had that. And you were able to upload GIFs or GIFs, I'm not sure what the correct term is, onto just Tumblr, sorry. And I know GIFs or GIFs or whatever were really popular on Tumblr as well. Some photos came from there. I know some YouTubers were on Tumblr at the time. Not a lot, but a few. Yeah, yeah, Tumblr was just real big on that. Just a big, like, media sharing and blogging, like, you know, site. So for the demographics of Tumblr, mostly young adults who were obviously using the site, and the age range was about 18 to 35. Most Tumblr users make 80K a year, the highest being 100K. the lowest being 18K. There was about 612 million blogs on Tumblr. 60% of Tumblr was used for entertainment, while 12% was used for connecting with friends and family, which I found a little surprising. You'd think maybe Facebook would be used for something like that, but yeah, I mean, I guess. The main drive for Tumblr was finding niche like things or blogs, like finding people that shared your interest and connecting with them, building like a little community around it, and yeah, stuff like that. Though with the banning of like the adult content, which I'll get into later on, traffic to the site has slowed significantly since 2018, but the site isn't completely dead. People will still use it, and I think it's getting a resurgence due to other sites having their own issues, so Tumblr could be on the rise again. But yeah, since the banning of adult content in 2018, it's been a little slow. There aren't many like marketing campaigns that Tumblr has held, but there are a few. When it comes to yourself as a person, if you're going to try and market on Tumblr, there's ways to see if you're even gaining any traction by looking at the traffic metrics in your settings. I just thought I'd include that anyway. But June 2012, when Tumblr was like, still really big and popular, they had their first advertising campaign with Adidas, and they had like an official soccer blog. And after this Adidas collaboration, 2 months after, they announced they'd start using paid advertising on the site, which would, ads, which I don't think like was uncommon. Most sites had ads anyway. It could have been like maybe jarring at the time, but like it's nothing that people on the internet aren't used to by then. And around this time, the Adidas blog was no longer up. I cannot find any archives of it, but this was from the Wikipedia page that there was a Adidas site. As I said, there aren't a lot of Tumblr campaigns to really talk about. Just as recent as February 1st, there's a new campaign that has risen, pushing for creativity, self-expression, and digital escapism. This because of TikTok's very, very, very brief banning. Obviously, people didn't know it was going to be that brief, but when TikTok was banned, literally right after Tumblr was on it, they launched this new campaign advocating for how like free and expressive you could be on it, and pushing for like you could tell like they were aiming for a certain demographic with this this new campaign that they launched. But it's too early to see if it was successful or not. But I know this was very recent, and I don't think it was really talked about a lot because I found this article on it and I was surprised. I'm like, oh, I didn't know somebody did this. So maybe their reach wasn't that good because I didn't see it. But I think that's interesting that they tried to swoop in on when TikTok was down to try and push this new like, oh, come join us. We're like free and fun and you can do whatever you want, basically. Now getting into the risk and fails, like I said, when Tumblr started banning adult content, they lost a lot of their support and users or whatnot. The site before was kind of like the Wild Wild West. You could post literally whatever you want. It was like Twitter X or whatever. You could just post whatever and it was fine. But when Yahoo bought Tumblr from the original guys, they cracked down on it quickly. And a lot of people were not happy just by seeing Yahoo buy them. They were livid. There's a petition, but the petition didn't do anything because they still got what they wanted, and they got Tumblr and they shut that down. And that made a lot of their people start migrating to different sites, which led to the lack of traffic and people using it. Since the sale to Yahoo, Tumblr has lost 30% of its user traffic since December 2018, which was when the harsher content policy was placed. This caused Yahoo to consider selling Tumblr off since it was starting to struggle, but they obviously sticked it out because they have not sold it yet. In conclusion, with Tumblr's current standing, I would not use it as a social media platform to boost sales or visibility. Tumblr isn't as popular as it once was. If you were on the site for a long time, then you probably would have some success, but I would not use it as like, let's say, a company that's starting up or a decent sized company to like boost your sales or gain attention. If you're more focused on garnering like more like a community or getting to know your consumers, then probably so. But Tumblr is more of a slow site. It's not like a fast site like Instagram or let's say maybe YouTube. I wouldn't use it to boost or drive sales. And if your company really isn't art or fashion driven or anything like that, you probably won't succeed on Tumblr. Like, for example, if you're a car dealership, what are you doing on Tumblr realistically? I don't think you would really strive in a like environment like that. If you're that type of company, I wouldn't use it because the site is more geared towards the younger generation, and while older people can use it, I wouldn't say that's the main group of people using the site, and you probably won't have much success, like I said. So I would stay away definitely. And even when Tumblr was at its peak, depending on what type of company you are, I still would not use Tumblr to help boost you. I don't even think many big companies use Tumblr, even when it was at its peak. Maybe a few. I couldn't find any, like I said, but even then, I would not use Tumblr for building your brand in 2025. But yeah, that's Tumblr.
Hi, my name is Hannah Hale, and the social publishing platform that I have is YouTube. In 2005, Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawad Karim, who were former employees at PayPal, had a vision to create a space to easily access videos. On February 14, 2005, YouTube was activated. It debuted to the public later that same year. Shockingly, it struggled to gain traction for the remainder of 2005 and the beginning of 2006. By July of 2006, the site began to notice an increase in content creation with 65,000 videos and over 100 million views per day. A major reason for the sudden growth was due to brand collaborations with Nike, Victoria's Secret, and McDonald's, to name a few, coupled with the famous embedding and sharing features that YouTube offered. Google bought out YouTube later that same year for $1.65 billion in stock. Google's implementation of new search engine software expanded YouTube even further. In 2007, YouTube launched its partner program, which allowed content creators to earn a percentage of ad revenue. YouTube also expanded beyond its videos to collaborate with TV and film companies such as CBS and Universal to provide streaming services. This was the gateway for YouTube to introduce HD or high-definition video in 2008. In 2011, YouTube launched live streaming where users could watch global events from the comfort of their home. 2 short years later, the platform hit a milestone with the accumulation of 1 billion monthly users. It was the first site to do so at the time. In 2015, YouTube converted to mobile devices where roughly 63% of users watch their content today. To add to their brand, YouTube also created a kids version of the app that same year. In 2017, the platform famously launched what is now known as YouTube TV, or their unique alternative to cable television. In 2018, YouTube rebranded to its ad-free service, YouTube Premium, and required users to pay a small monthly fee to obtain the new luxury. Today, the app sees 2 billion users monthly alongside 1 billion hours of video daily, and those numbers are only set to increase from here. YouTube has an extensive list of features made available to its users. It has the ability to turn a video into a transcript. We all know closed captioning, but oftentimes when the video is playing in real time, it's hard to keep track of what you should be reading and when. With the transcript feature, YouTube allows you to read at your leisure, copy text, or even search for keywords and phrases. You're able to view your comment history chronologically. If you comment on YouTube often, your comments can appear spread out through many different videos, making it near impossible to keep track of their activity. Nobody is scrolling through thousands of comments just to find their own. That's where comment history plays a crucial role in YouTube's features. Through the My Activity portal, you can view them all in a chronological list. YouTube allows you to save videos to watch later. If you're running late but see a video you don't want to pass up, you can use the Watch Later feature. This essentially compiles a playlist of videos that you can come back to when you have the time. You can zoom in to automatically fill the screen with your content. This takes away the need to pinch to zoom and ensures that the screen doesn't get cut off or become too small. By double tapping the screen on the left and right, you can skip forwards and backwards in 10-second increments. YouTube allows you to share clips of videos opposed to sending the video as a whole. This means that you don't have to skip through all that unnecessary content just to get to the point. You can adjust playback speeds, and that gives you the option to speed up videos or slow down videos. And YouTube is available in over 80 languages, which allows YouTube to diversify and expand their audiences. Because YouTube is such a popular platform, it has a lot of demographics to cover. Most recently updated in February of 2025, YouTube statistics conclude that 54.4% of users are male and 45.6% are female. Between the ages of 25 and 34, which is the most popular age range to use the app, 12% of those users are male and 9.7% are female. Between the ages of 35 and 44, 10.1% are males and 8.4% of users are females. The average amount of watch time that comes from mobile devices is around 63%. There are 2.70 billion people visiting YouTube monthly. That concludes that the average daily time spent on the platform is 19 minutes per person, and more than 122 million people access YouTube daily. This makes YouTube the second largest search engine next to Google, as well as the second largest social media platform next to Facebook. YouTube uses a vast amount of marketing metrics to measure engagement within the platform. YouTube uses watch time, so the higher the watch time, YouTube will assume that there's more engagement with that video. Therefore, they'll elevate the videos with more watch time to go on the home page or just show up in recommendation searches. YouTube uses average percentage viewed. This determines the video's ability to hold viewers' attention. So it'll measure where in the video viewers are watching the most and then where in the video viewers are clicking off the most. Then there's, hand in hand with that, averaged view duration, which takes the total watch time and divides it by the total number of plays to really pinpoint where in the video viewers are watching the most and how to capture their attention like that going forward. Then there's audience retention. This shows the percentage of viewers who watch the video and then the average percent of viewers who leave the video. There's rewatches, which calculates the number of rewatches of any certain part of the video, not just of the video as a whole. So this also allows you to pinpoint where viewers are going back to the most and what really captures their attention the most. Then obviously there's your standard engagement, which is comments, shares, likes, and dislikes. There's what's called impressions click-through rate. This measures the likelihood of viewers to click on the video in recommendation section, trending section, or homepage section. And like I mentioned before, watch time is what gets videos to your recommendations, trending, and homepage. Who's watching your video? This segments viewers by age, gender, and geography to really find your ideal target audience. There's traffic sources, which shows how viewers found the video, whether it was through their homepage or their recommendation, or whether they searched for your video.
Fails of YouTube. So one of the biggest risks for YouTube is security. And there are tons of different YouTubers and creators now that use YouTube as a main source of income. So having data to, banking information, income, addresses, personal information of creators, this creates a very large security risks for YouTube because they have to be able to keep that information secure and safe. And there was a fail of this somewhat recently during August of 2020 where YouTube was actually hit with a large data breach, which actually exposed a lot of personal information of creators, mainly addresses, income, and even banking info for certain creators, which is something that needs to be taken seriously for YouTube, and hopefully they have strengthened their security since then. And then another major fail that YouTube has actually faced is the abuse of the copyright system that has in place. So in short, the copyright system is a way for companies to see creators, and if they're using, say, their product wrong, or they're using different music that they don't have rights to, they take that down and things like that. That's a pretty reasonable example. But a lot of creators have actually abused this, where they would say, oh, this is fair, right? This is my video, when someone's reacting to their video. Or in some cases, some people actually impersonate a company and strike down other YouTubers' videos to harass them or because they don't particularly like the YouTuber. And so this creates a large abuse of the copyright system, and YouTube has received many, many complaints from creators who get their videos taken down unfairly and unjustly, and they can lose their monetization from these videos with however many copyright strikes they get. And even in extreme cases, they can completely lose their channel and lose that source of income that they have. And this is a pretty big fail because a lot of creators use YouTube as a main source of income or even an only source of income. And so the abuse of the copyright system is something that I feel needs to be addressed, and it's still a big fail that's still currently going on today. Was a major fail in YouTube during 2018, April of 2018, where 23 different groups filed a complaint with the FTC against YouTube. And this complaint was made due to the fact that YouTube was collecting personal data from the YouTube Kids section, part of YouTube. And the YouTube Kids section is specifically designed for people ages 13 and under. And this, when they were found out that they were collecting data, it was actually a big violation of the COPPA Act, which is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which stops companies from taking data from anyone under the age of 13. And YouTube was found guilty, and they were fined $170 million, and they had to implement many new safety features into YouTube Kids to protect the children that are watching these videos. And then another risk that YouTube has actually faced is the risk of dangerous and harmful creators promoting on their platform and website. And even though YouTube has a terms of service, a TOS that they have that creators must follow and agree to, it has been broken, and there have been loopholes found that YouTube unfortunately has to, figure out after the fact that they've been broken. And an example of this has Ruby Frank, and Frank was a former family vlogging creator, and she was the mother of 8 kids, and she gained popularity for vlogging their lives of being a large family, and she got a pretty large platform. But after many videos, fans started to notice odd and weird behavior of how her kids acted on camera, and fans kind of dug deeper and found out that Frank was actually abusing her children, and she was reported to the authorities, and she was actually found guilty and pleaded guilty to 4 counts of child abuse and was sentenced to actually 30 years of prison. And this is just another risk that YouTube has to take because they allow anyone to become a creator, and sadly some pretty nasty creators come out on the platform, and it's sad to see stuff like this happen, but it's a risk that YouTube has to take. YouTube is one of the biggest platforms on the internet today, and it is constantly getting support and will continue to get major support for the foreseeable future. With content creators getting up to hundreds of millions of subscribers, the YouTube platform can be an extremely powerful tool to an organization. The ability to create short and long-form content and even collaborate with large YouTube creators allows for the platform to have so much creative freedom and liberty that most other platforms don't allow. And even with specific sections such as YouTube Kids and the YouTube Shorts, you can create so many different types of content and have it all in one specific platform. And even though YouTube has been around for a little bit, it's still somewhat new, and there are being tons of massive feats being broken. For an example, Mr. Beast hit over 300 million subscribers, and each view of his averages about 50 to 100 million views per video, which is insane to think about, because if you compare that to the most recent Super Bowl, there was a peak viewership of 126 million views for the Super Bowl. So this possibility of being able to reach Super Bowl level amount of viewers is insane, and this is so powerful. And if a company hasn't been using this or hasn't been abusing it now, it is really something that they should look into as soon as possible, even if it's something very basic as sponsoring certain creators or just doing small little advertisements before videos. There's so much potential in YouTube that I believe that it's going to keep going up and up and up, and we're going to see so much more content on YouTube rather than a traditional commercial or television experience.
Flickr was founded in 2004 as a revolutionary new kind of community, one committed to elevating memories, artistry, and impact of photography online. On February 10, 2004, Flickr is officially launched by founders Stuart Butterfield and Katarina Fake as an independent application. The app officially gains traction later that year in August 2004. During March 2005, Yahoo purchases Flickr and is moved to California. Later in 2007, Flickr added 7 languages and geotagging. In January of 2008, the Commons launches with the Library of Congress, and in September of 2009, the first iPhone app is launched. During 2015, application redesign, camera roll, and auto uploader is added, and in May, a new modern layout was debuted. In April of 2018, Flickr is purchased by SmugMug and has owned the company since. In July of 2020, enhances Explorer, content curation, and introduces sorting and filtering options are introduced. In November of 2023, Flickr introduces Flickr Pro. What is Flickr? Flickr is an image and video hosting website, web services suite, and online community platform. In addition to being a popular site for users to share personal photographs and video clips, the service is widely used as a photo repository. Users can also add tags to their photos and use these tags to search for photos. Here are some other features that Flickr offers. Uploading. Via Flickr Uploader, available for both PC and Mac, iPhoto, Aperture, or Windows XP plugins, uploading on web page, email, and various third-party desktop programs. Editing. The third-party application used is called Picnic. Organizing. Tagging. Use keywords, labels, friends, grouping themes, and collections. Sharing. Groups, common interests, public and private, and maps, which include geotagging locations. The Flickr user demographics include the following. The number of monthly users is over 60 million. Total number of users are over 112 million. Number of countries users come from are 72 different countries. The popularity by countries include USA 31.03%, UK 9.83%, Germany 5.26%, France 4.62%, Canada 4.17%, and all the other countries include 45.09%. The gender distribution includes male of 60.73% and females of 39.27%. The age distributions are shown below, but it's important to note that the majority are made up between 25 and 34 years of age, with a percentage of 28.21. The great thing about Flickr is that they use many marketing metric systems. First is view counting. Users can see how many views a photo, video, or upload has. Then engagement metrics. Along with views, users can see likes, comments, and favorites their upload obtains. Pro users. Those who have Flickr Pro can view all of the following mentioned on their uploads, including statistics related to recommended information, linked or connected content, all to track where the engagement on their post initiated. Activity feed. This allows users to view their personal interactions with other users, including personal likes,
comments, favorites, and more. Privacy. Views on posts will not be revealed based on who has viewed a post, but only if the users have interacted with it. Sustainability, or how Flickr is working toward a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable planet for everyone. Climate neutral certified. Track, reduce, and compensate. Every bit of carbon we produce is accounted for, and we're part of a growing coalition of businesses dedicated to climate neutrality. Conservation Alliance member. Land, water, wildlife, and people balancing the interests of everyone and everything on our planet takes a strong coalition of businesses at your back. Certified Evergreen. Excellence, longevity, and continual improvement. As a value-led and purpose-driven business, we're in it for the long haul, and we've got the certification to prove it. 1% for the Planet member. Research, source, and support. Members of this global organization contribute at least 1% of their annual revenue to verified environmental causes to protect the planet. The following photographers and uploads are some successful examples that have grown great attention due to using Flickr. As you can see, all of the photographers listed are from all over the world, and just by uploading a photo, they are greeted with thousands of interactions, including views, favorites, and comments. This is a great way for photographers to share their work and build their portfolios. Though Flickr is a very successful application and free to use, there are many risks and failures that we must identify with the app. How does Flickr make money? Flickr makes all of its revenue from advertising and by collecting subscriptions from pro users. Since it has been acquired by SmugMug, we know very little about Flickr's revenue. Furthermore, this is a major risk to the company, knowing there are 112 million users and only 3 to 5% of them are pro users. Meaning, for every 33 to 56 normal users, there is only one pro member. Unfortunately, masses of auto posts and spam sites scrape Flickr. Scraping, for those who are unaware, is automatically trawling the internet for content and reposting it with no regard for copyright on what's normally known as a spam site, typically in very high volume. These spam sites make money out of photographers' work by simply adding Flickr photos automatically imported from Flickr in bulk to their pages, and then directly or indirectly monetizing the pages, which is known as the content theft. Flickr's main disadvantages compared with a photo blog. Your Flickr account has to be approved by staff before it clears for indexing with the search engines and Flickr's internal browse function. So you can't sign up today, post some images, and expect anyone to find them immediately. Unless you pay for a pro Flickr account, you don't get a visitor stats chart. Free blogs such as Blogger and WordPress provide comprehensive visit and referral statistics. This limits users from viewing how successful or not their uploads are of how many people are engaging with them. To conclude, Flickr is still one of the most popular sites worldwide. It is ranked top 400 globally, top 290 in the US, and top 2 in its category, photography. Even in 2022, Flickr gets up to 60 million visits per month. How many active users does Flickr have? As of 2022, Flickr has over 112 million registered users and 60 million active users. The active users are counted as those who come to Flickr at least once a month. Flickr is a great place for photographers to upload content and earn praise for their work, but the weak security is worrisome for copyright purposes. Furthermore, unless requesting licensing on their photos, they are not earning any profit from their uploads, affecting their livelihoods. Flickr's main two goals are to help people make their content available to the people who matter to them and to enable new ways of organizing photos and video.